Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of That Crypto Show, and I'm here today joined by Matthew Dixon from Evai.io to talk about the impacts of artificial intelligence and how you as traders as home nowadays also can use artificial intelligence and machine learning to enhance your trading experience and by the end of the day become more profitable as traders. Matthew, welcome to That Crypto Show. Happy to have you here with us.
Thank you, Dirk.
Today.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Nice. So maybe a couple of words from your side. I'm sure the audience is very, very nosy to know more about you. Maybe you can tell them a little bit about, how your experience with the financial markets and how you came to the position you are right now in, specializing in trading cryptocurrencies with the help of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, very briefly, I've been a trader since the early 1980s. I started off trading penny stocks back then and traded throughout the market crashes of the 87, in the 90s, the dot-com boom and bust of the 2000 era. My son got involved in crypto right when Bitcoin started. And I wasn't an immediate adopter. I didn't really understand what it was all about to begin with. So I continued and traded FX at the time. And I ran a regulated FX fund in London, which actually did reasonably well. But my son was always saying, "Dad, you need to get into crypto." So I started looking into crypto and actually late in life did a master's degree at Brighton University and studied the reasons for the market crash of 2008. And that's what gave me the initial idea of building an unbiased crypto rating system. So that's really a very brief background on how I got into crypto.
Okay, that's so interesting what you are saying there. This is like the story of almost everybody that gets into the crypto sector. You'll always hear that, including myself. When I first saw it, I didn't think very well of it. Back then, I remember when I first touched base with it, like in 2013, I thought it was a scam. I didn't know what was so attractive about it. But once you start going down the rabbit hole, you never come out anymore. So you feel a little bit like Alice in the Wonderland, so to say there. So what's like for you being so exciting about crypto? And why do you think maybe this is something that will in the future play an even larger role for us in our lives?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. We've been through so many challenges, and being involved and seeing my son go through Bitcoin in the early days and all the major challenges and obstacles that have been overcome. We're facing obstacles again today, and I don't see that as being a particular challenge that can't be overcome. So I think it's all part of the evolution. This is an emerging asset class, but I do think there's some major opportunities. The way I see it, it makes business more efficient in so many ways. I mean, we've got the transparency, you've got the speed, you've got the cost efficiency, and you've got the real advances in technology that can make everything so much more efficient. So I do think there's a real future there, and I just think that we need to remain focused on the challenges that we face. I mean, there are challenges, and we have opportunity here to face those challenges and to overcome them, or to let the challenge overcome us. But I think the opportunity is there for us, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, very true words. I couldn't agree with that more, actually. Now, you have founded a company that offers cryptocurrency ratings that are based on and powered by machine learning and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence kind of is always a buzzword, It's like, it seems like everybody out there wants to put this label artificial intelligence nowadays on things maybe to sell them better. However, I was in a nice position that I could test your platform actually, and I was very, very impressed not only by the results and how it could help me in my own trading decisions, but also by the friendliness of the UI. So it's very easy, very straightforward to use. How do you think your tool can make the life of, let's say, a trading beginner or somebody who's still in the early stages of becoming a trader easier?
I think when we're able to harness artificial intelligence, you see, trading has so many different aspects to it. As you know, there are many hundreds of different types of indicators that people can use. And the way I see it, artificial intelligence has been, initially researched since the early 1950s. And I think it was 1998 that it first beat, was it Gary Fisher or Kasparov? I can't remember who it was now, the chess champion of the world at the time. That was the first time.
IBM Deep Blue, I think
Deep
it
Blue,
was,
yes,
wasn't
right,
it?
absolutely,
Yeah.
So that's the first time that an artificially intelligent computer could beat the human mind at a particular discipline. And bear in mind, we're 24, 25 years on since then, and the advances in computing power and technology have made it so much more powerful. I mean, bearing in mind, it could beat the world chess champion 25 years ago. Imagine what it can do now when you focus it on a particular challenge. And that challenge that we're looking at today is cryptocurrency ratings. So effectively empowering traders to make better investment decisions. So it is very powerful. As you say, it does work, and this is just the beginning. So it's built on Nobel Prize winning research using the very latest artificial intelligence and machine learning. And the good thing about AI is it's powerful already, but it just gets more and more powerful. Not only as computing power improves and increases, as it continually does, but also as the AI itself learns. It is a self-learning system. And so unlike algorithms, I've traded algo systems in the past. And these algos work for a time. They very quickly become old, and they work while they work, and then they don't work. Whereas with an AI system, it's adaptive, and it learns, and it moves with the market. And so as we see changes in the market, and there are big changes in this emerging asset class, the AI moves with it. And so it just makes it, to emphasize, as you said, the UI, it's important that this powerful technology is made very simple to use. And that's what we've tried to do with eBay.
And I think you're really spearheading there also one of the main challenges, in my opinion, that hopefully we are going to see progressing now in the following years to make blockchain cryptocurrencies more accessible, to the audience. Whenever I tell my father about it, he's just looking at me like, "What in the world are you talking about? I have no idea. This must be a scam." However, if you out there are maybe also nosy now and want to see for yourself how you can use Matthew's technology of evi.io, for your own trading decisions, Matthew has brought us a belated Christmas gift. In the description of this video, you will find a link to evi.io. You will find a promo code which will allow you to really test Matthew's product for, I think, 30 days it is, right?
That's correct, yes. And the good thing is, even during that 30 days, you'll see some massive improvements that we're implementing. And as I say, as the AI automatically improves anyway, but we're also adding some major improvements come January. So this 30-day trial period that we're giving out, it's well worth a test. It will empower your trading. It will make decision-making that much easier. As you say,
that's, I think, a very, very generous belated Christmas gift of you. So thank you in the name of the audience. Guys, again, you'll find everything you need, the promo code, the links in the description of this video. I highly, highly recommend you to try it out. I tried it out for myself, seeing is believing always. And I must say it really, really helped me with some decisions for trades that I was unsure if I should take them or not. This was for me very often in the past weeks the last brick in the wall that I needed to make my own decision.
That's exactly the way we believe it should be used. Obviously, it's a powerful tool. We would say possibly the sharpest tool in the box, but it doesn't mean it's the only tool. And so you do need to do your due diligence and do all your usual research and due diligence. But we use this as a final kind of filter as to perhaps, you might identify a token through your own DD that is the right token to take perhaps, but is it the right time to take that trade? And this is where this empowers you to make that decision.
Absolutely. And the shorter your time frame for trading is, the more important, of course, this factor of timing always becomes. Because by the end of the day, not everything is just to hodl. As we have seen this year, I think, painfully on the crypto markets. Now, a bit of a provocative question. What came to my mind, or what always pops up as a question when I talk with people about AI is, do you think AI is going to replace the human factor in trading in the future?
I think it already has. If you look at the amount of automated trading that takes place in the city, most trades are now automated, and the humans are there just as a kind of overseeing filter, just to ensure that everything's running according to plan. And that's why, unfortunately, the downside of AI and technology is that human jobs are lost. But that's because the automation is actually more efficient and more powerful. So more and more we will see the computers and the AI taking over. And that's really where the challenge comes, I think, generally, that we need to find things that humans are better at, and maybe it's just enjoying yourself. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be more leisure time. We need to learn how to enjoy that leisure time. But more and more we will see computers taking over, I believe, trading decisions, because humans, for a start, how can a human evaluate 20,000 cryptocurrencies? How can a panel do that in real time? How can they evaluate all of that data in real time? And then how can they also be unbiased? And this is the big problem with human intervention, is bias. And that's why this whole system was built, to try to eliminate the bias from decision making.
Absolutely. I mean, this is, in my opinion, also one of the obstacles when you start trading that's the most difficult to overcome: being biased, being married to your position, not wanting to let go and cutting your losses, although it's a part of the game. And that certainly is something where AI also helps me in my personal training, sorry. And I think also, what we are seeing in trading, where the processes of automation is something we see everywhere. Just look at what we are doing here. We are using a software to record an interview. You are sitting in the UK right now. I'm sitting in Berlin. All we need for that now is a decent camera, a microphone, and a stable internet connection. So something for a very comparatively slim budget, which maybe 30 or 40 years ago you would have needed like huge TV crews and cameras for that would have cost tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, plus satellite connections. So this is, I think, something we see everywhere taking place. And I like what you said. Hopefully that means for us humans in the future that we have to think more about how do we actually enjoy our leisure time and maybe strive for the things we really want to do. So, I mean, 2022 now slowly coming to an end, and it has been, I think, everywhere on the financial markets quite a ride, not only for cryptocurrencies, but if we look how the whole financial markets in terms of risk off has moved this year. It's, for me, for sure, one of the craziest years in my 25 years that I'm doing this that I have witnessed so far. If we look now a little bit forward, maybe into 2023 and beyond, what do you expect are going to be the predominant themes that we'll have to work with in 2023?
In some ways, I believe we need to expect the unexpected. So we are hoping, for the time being, we're seeing inflation apparently beginning to come under control a little bit. But the flip side of that is, as inflation comes under control, we're going to see challenges with growth. So that is the real big picture that I see, is that we're going to see these challenges with growth, and eventually they're going to have to lower interest rates and probably re-stimulate the economy, which may mean more money printing in the future. I believe it will mean more money printing. Now that is what's caused the massive explosion, the massive bubble in risk assets, which includes crypto. And in some ways it's good to see that crypto is now pretty much correlated with other risk assets, just like the S&P and others. So it is, as far as I'm concerned, a respected and respectable asset class now, that institutions are getting more and more involved. But come 2023, it will behave like the rest of risk assets. We haven't yet seen pivoting, but we are beginning to see, and we will soon see, interest rates tail off and probably begin to reduce. As I say, if we see that money printing, that will be a sign for me that the crypto market is going to turn around, along with other risk assets. So I do think there's worse to come, and these unpredictable factors that I said expect the unexpected, I think we still don't know what's going to happen with Russia and Ukraine and other sort of hotspots, potential flare-ups around the world. These are the unknowns that we need to be aware of and keep at the back of our minds in case something does happen there. And they're the things which, that's really what caused this inflation this time round, was the Russia conflict. And we saw the price of fuel, energy, grain, food, these things go up in price. So the difference this time round was that inflation was not driven by demand. Inflation was driven by some external factor. And that's why it's different. That's why I don't actually agree necessarily with these elevated interest rates that we have at the moment. I think they're too high and they're going to hurt the economy too much. So it's going to be still a rocky ride coming into 2023. And for me, as a business, it makes our business that much more important that we can empower traders, because you can make money both in a bull and a bear market, but you need a system that can help you make those decisions. And that's really why I'm so excited about eBay.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the tool, that is needed, and this is especially what it is for, to kind of help you to get this information bias out of your head that you have as a trader. That, by the way, you also have as a trader still when you have been doing this for 25 years. It's natural. It's ingrained in our probably human animal part of the brain that we are carrying around with us. So I really couldn't agree more with that. I think it's very interesting what you are saying about interest rates. You are expecting that we'll see in 2023 already probably interest rates coming down again. Maybe once inflation starts, going maybe below those interest rates we are seeing around the world at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the target for inflation, US, most central banks around the world, is about 2% for inflation. And so interest rates, we're already beginning to see CPI dropping off. And that was kind of good for the market. We saw that was good for risk assets. But as that happens more and more at the moment, particularly in the US, growth is still reasonably okay. But it's the projections are quite low. If we continue to hold these elevated interest rates, then the economy will slow further, and so they're going to have to, they will have to lower interest rates to try to re-stimulate the economy. And at some point, I think, you see, the problem is since 2008, they printed all this money. This extra money went into risk assets, which is why we saw the risk assets appreciate so much. But it didn't massively increase productivity. So the whole point really of increasing money supply was to try to increase productivity. And it didn't really do that. As I say, it went purely into risk assets, which wasn't particularly productive. So whilst we haven't seen production increases, now we've got problems. We are going to see real problems with growth, and we're going to see deflation yet again in the future. So it's going to move very, very quickly and turn from an inflation problem to a deflation problem once again. Once we see that money printing, I potentially see crypto assets from these terrible lows that we're seeing at the moment in the depths of this crypto winter. We've gone all the way up on Bitcoin to 68, all the way down currently to 16, 17, and probably we're going to go, I believe, much lower than that. But I believe we're going to at least re-challenge those all-time highs that we saw last year. So it's going to be an eventful year ahead, and we need to be primed to take advantage of it.
And thanks to evi.com, you have now one more tool on your hand that you can use to try to time these extremes in the crypto markets. And now, if I'm a new user of your platform and I log in I use the promo code, I log in for the first time, how do you recommend to get started, to get the most out of the experience?
Well, first of all, to use it very, very simply. It's very simple that the market index basically just tells you which assets have the highest underlying value. So you'll likely see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the big ones at the top, and the smaller tokens nearer the bottom. And that might help you with portfolio building, or it might help you if you're a low risk kind of trader. You might choose the bigger assets, assets with higher underlying value, like, as I say, the Bitcoin, Ethereums. If you're a high risk trader, you might take the lower market index tokens. So that just helps you maybe with portfolio structure, but it doesn't tell you anything about when to buy or sell an asset. And that's where the trading score comes in. And the trading score is very, very simple. It's -3 to +3. So it goes -3, -2, -1, 0, and then +1, +2, +3. -3 being indication that the asset is likely to go down in price by a large amount. -2 still down but less, -1 down, and then 0 is basically a hold, and then +1, +2, +3. The larger the positive, the larger the potential buy. So just to put that into perspective, before Luna actually rose in price, eBay gave it the largest upgrade at the time of +3. that was an indication to buy the Luna token at the time. And it appreciated by, I think it's somewhere around 280%. Now, before the fall happened, eBay actually downgraded by the biggest downgrade margin possible, the biggest downgrade being -3. So we downgraded by -3 before the majority of that fall. So if you've been following eBay, you'd have made money in Luna and you'd have protected the profits. That's the important thing. It's not just about making money, it's about knowing when to take profits, or potentially, if you short the market, when to short the market. And we're just putting together the figures for Luna, because we did also indicate that Luna was going to, sorry, not Luna, FTT. We're going to put the figures together there because FTT was also downgraded by the maximum margin before the collapse in FTT. So this is highly predictive, and it's very useful, as I say, not just to make profits, but to protect profits. And that's as important, as you know, with Bitcoin and all the cryptos being so volatile.
That's true. Yeah. You have to know when to take your chips off the table, so to say. And I think that's really, first of all, very interesting, of course. Second of all, amazing that EVA is able to foresee things like this. I mean, for a lot of people, including myself, especially with FTX, that came kind of out of the blue. I never expected something like this to happen. If I would have watched your product more closely, of course, it would have helped me then to protect my money. Luckily, I was not invested in the FTT token, but should I have been? And I think what Matt is also saying there is really the strength of this tool being, if you with your own due diligence have come up with a plan, for example, your own system is showing you to buy, let's say, Bitcoin or let's say Ethereum, and you have a very strong opinion about it that it's going up. And if you then use evi.io as a platform to either support you in your bias at the moment, maybe it's saying at that exact moment also the trading score, I think you said, is at +3. Maybe it's showing the trading scores at 0 or maybe even in the negative numbers. Then you can use this tool really to overthink your positioning in terms of timing. Maybe because you are right with your long-term perspective on the asset, on the cryptocurrency that you are currently viewing, but your timing is off. And especially, I think, in a bear market, do not underestimate how important timing can actually be. There's a huge difference also in the long run if you bought Bitcoin at 69,000 or if you maybe start buying it now that we're at 16 or 17,000. And this tool can make the difference there for you in planning your trades timing-wise accordingly. And it couldn't be more simpler than this, in my opinion. I mean, there are only a handful of numbers really that you have to watch, talking about, usable and good designed UIs.
That's the good thing about it, you see. We actually cover, at the moment, 9 different factors. And underneath each factor, there's many different indicators. So if you look at risk, for example, risk can be measured in many different ways. There's no particular right way to measure risk, but they all have an impact on price. And so it's important to have a system that can take all of these things into account. But we don't want a system where you have to actually do all the evaluation yourself. And that's why, as I say, the AI has the power to do that for you on your behalf. But it's not perfect. Obviously, it's not 100%. Otherwise, everybody would be using it and everybody would be multimillionaires by now. But it does improve your chances. And as you're aware, as a long-term trader, trading is basically a game of probabilities, and you need to get those probabilities in your favor. And if you can increase your chances and improve your chances, then it's well worth doing. And if you can do that for a nominal cost and improve your chances, and if you're a trader and looking to make money, it obviously makes sense to do that.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I think important words here. There is no holy grail out there that is going to be always correct and 100% is going to turn you into a multimillionaire within 3 weeks. And we see often this is the main driver when people start trading. So you still have to have your proper risk management, even in a system that's, let's say, 90% correct. And in my opinion, this is already something that's almost impossible to find. You will have a series of 4, 5, 6, 7 trades in the row where your stop loss is hit, and you need to be able to survive this and still have enough capital left to make a comeback and give yourself a chance to make a profit by the end of the year. So this is very important. See evi.io as your tool for that. Albeit, I must say, a very, very mighty tool that can give you that final push into the right direction. All right, Matt, thank you so much for taking your time and being here with us today. I think it's really, really exciting, and probably we could go on for hours and hours to talk about the markets and AI. Maybe any final words from your side to our audience out there?
Well, it'd be a pleasure to share our system with you, and we'd love to have feedback as well, because we are obviously looking to improve and get better and better. These are early days for us. It's already highly accurate in terms of, if you measure the percentage, Dirk was talking 90. We've done measurements around 86% accuracy, and we've got some eminent professors working on this in our research team, continually evaluating what we've done so far, but looking to improve. So please give us feedback. Evaluate it for free, please. Give us that feedback, because we want to improve and we want to make it better for you, the user. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Dirk, and for your community. And yeah, hopefully we'll talk again in future. And just finally, what's your view on the market?
My view on the market for 2023, I'm actually quite positive because my main driver is at the moment, when I look into the past, that whenever we saw inflation rates that were above 6% coming down, we had sooner or later, within a time span of plus minus 4 months, maybe hit the bottom of risk on assets, especially the stock markets. So I think that we are going to see for sure a volatile phase, although it's going to be a sideways phase in 2023. But the closer we come to 2024, especially for crypto assets out there to the next halving of Bitcoin in April 2024, I think the more we will see cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, appreciate in value again. However, of course, this all also depends on external factors, especially those terrible black swan events that might take place in terms of war, which we cannot influence, and hopefully 2023 and ongoing is going to spare us from events like this. This would be my wish for the new year. All right, thanks again, Matt. And you heard it. You have a chance to check out evi.io for 30 days for absolutely free. Check out the description of the video. You'll find everything you need in terms of links and promo codes. And as Matt said, the guys are very, very happy to hear your feedback about what they've done. I think it's a great tool, and I think this is really a chance as a normal trader to be part of something that is completely new and has not been there for normal traders on the market yet.
Happy New Year to you, Dirk, and to your community. Happy New Year, and hope trading is better for 23 than it was for 22. I believe we've got some great opportunity ahead. Thank you.
Likewise. Take care, and bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.